What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to this handsome guy right there, Zack D films. This is actually our first ever video like reacting to somebody. These are his videos. We're gonna be starting by the newest one to the oldest. Let's get right.
They would race through the streets where children played, injuring some and
Oof! Damn, bro got ran.
killing others. You see, before cars were common, the streets were safe public areas. But as cars got more popular, it was suddenly dangerous to walk on the roads. Soon, people started to protest, demanding that the engines be limited to just 25 miles per hour. But instead, the motor industry blamed pedestrians. They took the word J, which basically meant hillbilly, and invented the word jaywalker to insult pedestrians.
Damn, that's actually a good
A Santa was even paid to yell it at people crossing the street, spreading the new term. And in one parade, a clown pretended to jaywalk before getting hit by a car in slow motion, until it finally became illegal to cross the street wherever you wanted.
W government for making
The robber fired. They would race. The robber fired the gun.
this video.
They would race through.
Got it till title is right.
The robber
Exist. This one is Hulk phone case stopped a bullet.
fired the gun directly
Let's see.
towards the man's hip, but he had his phone in his pocket, protected inside a Hulk case. The bullet slammed into the phone, the screen shattered instantly, but the phone and case absorbed the shot, stopping it before going through the back of the phone. So even though the case didn't protect the phone, it kept the bullet from breaking the bone beneath. The robber
What? Like, that's how you know Hulk is actually like for real strong. Damn,
claimed the mirrors were
that's odd. Could mirrors really ban ships? I have no clue. That's why I'm watching this video.
attached, and when sunlight hit, it bounced down onto enemy ships. Now, legends say this heat caused them to ignite, destroying the enemy with only sunlight. But when modern scientists tested it, they discovered they would need dozens of mirrors for it to work. The ship would need to stay still for 10 minutes for the wood to heat up enough to catch fire. Flaming arrows would have been much easier, meaning the mirrors were probably better at blinding crews than actually torching. If the mirrors were attached.
Why did they even
And when sunlight hit, if a dog sucked up water like a human, the water would just fall right
in it? Yeah, because they're not human. That's why.
out of its mouth. And this is because dogs can't close their cheeks all the way. Instead, its tongue shoots down and bends backwards before being pulled back up. And the force of the impact and the curve of the tongue makes a splash, pulling the water into a rising column. The dog then bites down, catching the water in its mouth and swallowing it, meaning your dog is basically
That's how they drink.
eating its water, not drinking it.
So water for dogs are technically food. Then what's the real water for the dogs? Like, bro.
If a dog sucked up water like
Buy life insurance and choose a £75 gift.
if you stack a Pringle on top of another,
How to stack Pringles.
all facing the
Why does Zack D films answer questions people like literally never.
Same direction, each chip pushes downwards, holding the ones below in place. Now, because the chips are curved, it will cause the stack to curve upwards, and their weight presses on the ones in front, which creates enough friction to keep the chips from slipping. And as you add more Pringles, the sides will continue to curve. Then just rest the last few chips on top, perfectly closing the circle.
That's how to make a circle with Pringles. If y'all want to, this a video right here. Go to Zack D Films. Let's check the comments. Zack is feeling good today. Only Zack uses a whole can of Pringles on this. In it, why did I say Pringles? It's literally Pringles.
Her necklace got caught on the fingers of her neck massager, and the rotating arm pulled it tight. But instead of turning off, it kept going, cutting off the blood flow in her major
Oh, no, damn.
artery. The woman quickly fell unconscious, but the massager didn't stop, eventually strangling her to death. And by the time her husband found her, it was too late. Now the
Of course it's too
FDA
late.
told other customers to throw their massagers away, but since there was no official recall, some people might still have these in their homes. Her necklace.
YouTube ads.
They jump with a pole pointed toward the ground. Now the pole will sink into the dirt while they hold on near the top, turning into a solid post that they can rotate around. Now, this changes a straight drop into a slower sideways slide that controls their descent. These poles can be up to 15 feet long, and they're made from strong, stiff wood, so they don't bend or snap. But if they jump from too high, the sudden
Why would people jump that high? Like, if you tell me the reason, it might answer my question, bro.
stop puts too much strain on their hands and arms, and the fall becomes impossible to
Yes, so why are you doing it then? Like, why would people do that?
control. They jumped. A fire broke out in the luggage compartment, filling the cabin with smoke as the passengers started to panic. The pilot turned the plane around, but instead of an emergency landing, which would let everyone evacuate, he slowly circled the plane around the airport. And as the fire spread into the cabin, he kept the engines running, which stopped the crew from opening the doors. When the passengers tried to escape, he told them to stay put. By the time the doors were
No, but why would the pilot
finally opened, every single person inside was dead, including
Of course they're dead. And the pilot is the dumb one here. Why are you not turning
the pilot. A fire broke out in the luggage compartment, filling the cabin with smoke as the passengers started to panic. The pilot turned the plane around, but instead of an emergency landing, which would let everyone evacuate, he slowly circled the plane around the airport. And as the fire spread into the cabin, he kept the engines running, which stopped the crew from
See? Why is not people why is this pilot so dumb?
opening the
Of course they're
Slice the spiky top off of the pineapple, trimming everything except for the hard core and leaves.
how to regrow a pineapple.
After that, leave the top in a cool, dry place, and after a few days, place it in a pot of dirt, adding just enough water to keep it moist. Then put the pot near bright, indirect light, and as the months pass, it will slowly grow into a full-sized pineapple, ready for you to eat and to grow all over again. Slice the
Get one pineapple, grow it into
He inhaled the toy
he lived years with a toy and
traffic cone when he was 7 years old, and for 40 years, he forgot about it. But as he grew older, he started to cough. Doctors noticed his right lung was getting stiff, and when they shone a light down his airways, they found a suspicious shadow. They told him he had a serious tumor and operated quickly, but instead, they found the toy traffic cone. And after removing it, the man's cough went away. He inhaled the toy It would tranquilize the whale before attaching a giant harness to its back with a big metal bus hanging down under its stomach. And when the whale woke up, it would swim like normal, towing a bus full of people underwater. A diver perched on top would crank a giant paddle to guide the whale, and another held long reins attached to a bit in its mouth, gently steering it left and right. Now, this idea came from a drawing on a postcard made in the early 1900s, showing how people thought we would travel in the future. They would
That's how you would travel in the future. It's 2026 now. Like, and we've never had that, I think. No, we have never had that.
tranquilize the. She lifted her violin and played as doctors cut into her.
Well, literally like 5 or 6 seconds in this video, we're already
Her brain. You see, she had been a violinist for decades, but when she was diagnosed with a deadly brain tumor, doctors told her that removing it might damage parts of her brain, meaning she could never perform again. So after they cut open her skull, they made her play the violin while they gently poked different areas of her brain, marking any spots that stopped her from playing correctly. This prevented any damage to important parts of her brain, and after multiple hours, they finally cut most of it out, and the woman still performs to this day. She lifted her violin.
clap it up for the surgeons. W surgeons.
I lost to a player named Slay Queen 302.
If you died and you had no friends, your funeral would be pretty much empty, which is kind of embarrassing. But you can pay professional actors to be briefed on the details of your life, and they'll quietly blend into the crowd during the funeral, making it look like you were popular. They can cry on command, and if no one wants to make a speech, they can even do it themselves, making up heartwarming memories based on their notes about you. She signed her name and address on the love letter, slid it inside a plastic bottle. If you died,
Wait, I forgot to say something. You could buy people to come to your funeral? That's technically buying people.
and you had no. She signed her name and address on the love letter, slid it inside a plastic bottle, and tossed it into the ocean.
Who's gonna catch it in the ocean? Do you have a crush on a shark or a whale? What do you mean? Who's gonna catch it?
Now, she had thrown hundreds of these over the years.
Damn, bro. She is really in love with sharks.
Hoping that it would end in true love. But one day, she received a mysterious package, and after paying $9 to open it, her heart raced as she ripped away the tape. But inside was a massive pile of rocks, as well as a note from a trash collector asking her to stop. You see, he had filled the box with rocks, which made the package heavy, and because it was heavy, she had to pay to receive it, meaning all that effort for love just ended in a pile of trash.
Damn. See? Only the... God damn, that's a lot of garbage. Only the people that thingy. I forgot what it's called.
Proper fast.
When you pull the bookmark in this Bible, a tiny trigger would snap into place, firing the hidden gun inside.
Is this a holy book or a gun?
They strip and eat. When you pull the
You can name it.
Bookmark in this Bible, a tiny trigger would snap into place, firing the hidden gun inside. Now, the pages were first hollowed out to fit the gun, while the barrel was lined up with the top. So, when the bookmark was tugged, it would pull a mechanism that lit the gunpowder, firing the shot out of the top without ever opening the book. It originally belonged to the leader of Venice during a time of war, as a way to secretly protect himself no matter where he went, but he never used it, and today it's in a museum for everyone to see. They strip and eat the skin from some fish and the brain from others, then they just throw the rest away and hunt for more to do it again. This happens when there are a lot of salmon to choose from, and the bears can catch them easily. You see, the flesh is low in fat, and digesting the bones takes time and energy. So instead, they eat only the fattiest parts, which are high in calories and easy to digest. And the rest gets picked clean by birds and other fish. They strip and he slid his head out of the food slot of his prison cell, then used his yoga training to squeeze his shoulders and arms through. And since he had covered himself in ointment, he managed to slip most of his body out of the 5.9-inch hole. When his
5.9. Look at that gear.
hips got stuck, he removed his pants, finally slipping all of the way out. And after putting his pants back on, he snuck past the sleeping guards. One guard was fooled by the decoy pillows in his bed, but when they finally realized he was gone, they sent 400 officers after him.
400 just to catch one pet.
Now, he managed to dodge them for 6 whole days.
Look at this comment. Do not let a Diddy see this shot. I swear to God. In it, bro.
Until they found him on a rooftop, hiding in a cardboard box. They put him back in a cell, this time with a smaller food slot. He slid his head.
He definitely.
If you drank an ungodly amount of milk, would you
Logan Paul
get super buff because of the protein? Well, milk is actually full of sugar, which will make you fat in large quantities. And this is why it's given to calves and babies, to literally fatten them up. But if you pass the milk through a collection of special membranes, the smaller molecules like sugar slip through and collect on one side. And the larger molecules, like protein, are too big to pass through, so they stay behind in the milk, which makes it super high in protein. And if you add in vitamins, minerals, and your own signature flavorings, you basically end up with a muscle-building super milk. But that would be a lot of work, so you should just get a Prime Shake instead.
This comment says, never thought I'd see Zack doing Prime ad. In it! Like, now I understand why he put Logan Paul in the animation.
I'm not a challenge.
The nuclear codes would be hidden inside a pill before being implanted in a man's chest. Now, this man would follow the president wherever he went, keeping a knife with him at all times. If the president wanted to nuke an enemy country, he would have to take the knife from the man, then stab him in the chest to get to the pill. Then he would use the codes inside to unlock the country's nuclear weapons and bomb the enemy, starting full-on nuclear war. But this required killing a man. And once he felt that weight, the blood, the reality of it, he would finally grasp what dropping a bomb actually does, and it could make him pause before using one. The nuclear code They would pull out the animal's intestines, then cut them into ribbons and scrape them clean. Next, they were soaked in a solution that ate away the tissue, leaving only the collagen behind. The guts were then stretched on special racks before being twisted into long strings. Doctors would use them to stitch up wounds, and after a few months, the body would absorb them. And these same strings are still used on violins today, meaning your favorite song could be played on animal guts. They would pull out the
I'm so done with this.
Doctors carefully removed his kidney and placed it into a machine to keep it alive. In a nearby room, his sister waited on the operating table. Her kidneys were failing, and this transplant would save her life. Now, the kidney sat on the counter, cooling in the machine, until a nurse came back from her lunch break. She saw the machine and assumed the transplant was already in his sister's room. So she took out the basin holding the kidney and dumped it straight into a medical waste bin. By the time anyone realized what happened, the kidney had been ruined. For months, his sister was back on dialysis as she waited for another one until she finally received one, but it wasn't as healthy as the one her brother had tried to give her, meaning she had to live with a weaker kidney for the rest of her life.
Damn. So just because one... that nest should...
If you connect the ends of a metal chain into a circle and place it around a spinning cylinder, each link is pulled tight by the spin, forming a stiff, perfect ring. But if you push that spinning chain off the cylinder, it shoots forward across the floor, and because every link is already moving straight ahead, the spin keeps them locked in that circular path. If you connect the ends of a metal chain into a circle, the worm digs into the fish's skin,
Oh, I did not know worms were in the water.
traveling through its tissues and blood vessels until it reaches the eye. And once inside, it starts to turn the fish blind. You see, at the same time, they control its behavior, making it swim closer to the water's surface. This means a bird is more likely to spot it and catch it. And once it eats the fish with the worm inside, the worm then infects the bird and lays
Bro.
eggs. When the bird poops in the water, these eggs hatch, allowing the worm larva to infect freshwater snails. Inside the snail, they multiply, then escape through its skin. And when they're released into the water, they seek out a new fish and start the cycle again.
What? A worm could do all of this?
The giant bubble is inflated over the construction site for the machines to work inside. When they kick up dust, the bubble stops it from polluting the neighborhood, as well as keeping the noise down. And huge fans pull fresh air inside, keeping the workers cool. It measures 15 stories high, covering the same space as 3 football fields, which
3 football fields.
allows work to continue even in bad weather. And once they're done building, the bubble will be removed, revealing a brand new construction.
But where would they put the balloon? Like, how would they put it somewhere else? It's like 15 stories high. They take it off, like, it's just gonna go on the city and stuff, and on cars. So, like,
So this is
You could shove a tampon in the hole and plug a small leak in a ship, since it holds about 1/3 of an ounce of fluid. But the Titanic's damage was much bigger, meaning you would need over 7,000 tampons crammed into the tears just to try and block the water. But even if you could plug the gaps, the ocean pressure would force water through the spaces in between, tearing the cotton apart. Instead, you would need tampons made out of Kevlar and
how would you get the 7,000.
Forced with 15 gallons of epoxy to even have a chance of saving the
A
Titanic.
chance. That's not even you will. It's a chance.
He sliced open the bear before squeezing himself inside, then waited silently as the police burst into his
Huh?
room. You see, the
What did
teenager had stolen a car, then filled it with fuel and left without paying. When police raided his house, he was nowhere to be seen until they noticed a giant teddy bear looking like it was breathing. They pulled the teen out and arrested him, and he was sentenced to 9 months for his crime.
9 months? That's it? That's it? 9 months?
Did you know AI phone call?
As the crank is turned, gears on one side begin to spin, rotating 2 heavy metal rollers. Then a sheet of hot, soft sugar is dropped between them. Now each roller is covered in tiny carved shapes that repeat all the way around the metal. And as the rollers spin toward each other, they grab the sugar, squeeze it flat like a press, and force it into every groove and pattern. Then a long sheet of connected candy shapes comes out of the bottom. Once it cools and hardens, the thin lines between the shapes turn brittle, so the strips are dropped onto a table, snapping it apart into perfect little candy drops.
So that's how old machines made candy drops. And guys, this is gonna be the end of this video. Hope you like it. Go subscribe to this guy. He's a great dude. Subscribe to him. And he's a great dude. He teaches you so much things. Like, bro, to be honest, I learn more from him than I learn at school. Like, to be honest, that actually is true. So subscribe to him. He's a great dude. And yeah.